This is the Guard of English. I'm Tim Freitas, and today, for quick questions, I want to just discuss, and extremely briefly, lesson planning with the course and exam description. So, I'm going to pull up the course and exam description here by just shrinking myself, and we will look at this. I am going up here to the Unit 1 overview. Okay, so we've got Unit 1 right here, and we're going to just talk about how this lesson planning can work with any of the units the same way. Just so you all know, when I was a new AP Lang teacher, and I have a degree in rhetoric, but I would have loved to have had this course and exam description, especially with all the skills spiraled and telling me exactly what to do. Instead, I had like a 4-page narrative where I was kind of like, okay, I guess this is what I have to do. So it's really nice to have this. So if any of you are struggling with lesson planning, or if you're like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm going to try to simplify that for you right now. So let's just look at this Unit 1 overview, and I want to just point out the 3 columns that show up in Unit 1, which would be the essential knowledge, the skill, and the enduring understanding. And the reason why is because if you actually think about how these are set up, and we go backwards, so we're going to go, we'll start here, and then we'll go here, and then we'll go here, it'll help you as you plan your lessons. And here's why. When it talks about the essential knowledge, this is really your content. So really what we need to do is we need to make sure that the language in here is clear to students. So if we think about how we build our lesson plans, I want to encourage you to make sure that the first part of your lesson plan, as you introduce these units, is going to look at the content that shows up in here. So look at the language that you don't think that kids know, and we need to get these definitions to these kids. Now, how you define those terms or get them to understand those definitions is up to you. That's why we're teachers, because we're creative people, and that's why we got into the job that we did. But if, let's say I was planning my Unit 1 and I was like, okay, where do I even begin? Well, begin in where it says essential knowledge, because when you see the word rhetorical situation, if you don't think that your students have an understanding of what that is, well then great. We need to get a definition for our kids there, and that's where we want to start. Okay, so day 1 of Unit 1, I am starting with, can we define the rhetorical situation? Okay, and how do we do that? Well, we're going to define it by exposing its parts, which are right here. And then we're going to define those parts for kids so that they will then know that as we talk about the rhetorical situation throughout the year, these are the parts that are coming up. So once we define these terms and the kids now have this language to access, what we want to do is we want to plan activities which will get them to be able to do this skill. Can they identify and describe components of the rhetorical situation? So, all right, how can I do that? And you can use any reading at all to do this. You grab a local newspaper and you can do this. Get a local article about some local politics. Let's say the fire station is being rebuilt and somebody doesn't want to do that. Get an op-ed in the newspaper or get a letter to the editor, something small, and we start with who's the speaker, who's the audience, what's the subject, the message, what's the purpose, exigence, context, the whole works. Okay? So this right here this is what you want to begin your lesson plans with making sure that that content is defined. You then want to create some sort of activity which will get kids to actually apply that content knowledge here. And then when you actually move through Unit 1, you want to make sure that your final assessment actually assesses whether or not kids can fully come to this understanding. And so now this is, hey, we begin our lesson plans with this kind of content. Throughout the unit, okay, I plan activities which will get kids to do these skills 1A, 3A, 4A, okay? And then when I create my test, I need to make sure that they can demonstrate an understanding of this scene here. So we're just quickly working backwards, and I think that this will actually help many of you that are kind of feeling overwhelmed to just, let's break it down, okay? How do I get through this here in order to actually create lesson plans and make it seem manageable? Do it one unit at a time, and then just work backwards, starting with the content, moving to the skill, and then the understanding. And this is kind of like bare bones segments of daily lesson plans. This is activities that we then have that go through multiple days. And then what's over on this side is assessment time. So hopefully that helps. If you appreciated the video, I always ask that you just click like and subscribe. You can follow us on Instagram too. You can also go to the Garden of English resources.weebly.com if you're looking for activities to incorporate into your lesson plans. If you're getting into the skills in the middle here, there are plenty of free elements over there. You can support the Garden of English in multiple ways, and I ask that you look at the links down below in order to think about doing so. But other than that, we'll have some more quick tips in the future. And if you have any other questions that you'd like to ask that can be answered quickly, just put them in the comments below, and I'll happily make videos for those as well. You all have a great day.